Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Greenville Fire District Fire Commissioners Candidate Forum. My name is Dylan Pine, and I'm proud to serve as president of the Edgemont Community Council. On behalf of the ECC Board of Directors, I want to welcome you to tonight's forum, and thank you for joining us. For those who may not know us well, the Edgemont Community Council, also known as the ECC, has been Edgemont's advocacy and civic engagement organization since 1947. The ECC represents our community's interests and advocates for Edgemont at all levels of government. We maintain relationships at the school, town, county, state, and federal levels, and of course at the fire district level, to advance issues that affect the Edgemont community. We are the only Edgemont community organization that represents all residents, newcomers, parents of current students, and empty nesters alike. The Greenville Fire District provides fire suppression, rescue, EMS first response, and fire prevention services to more than 7,000 residents across Edgemont. It's governed by a 5-member Board of Fire Commissioners, who I'd like to recognize this evening. Chair of the Board of Fire Commissioners, Walter Groden, as well as Commissioners David Stern and Helene Norse. The 5 members of the Board of Fire Commissioners each serve staggered 5-year terms. Commissioners help set policy, oversee budgeting and long-term planning, and ensure that our firefighters, both volunteer and career, have the resources needed to protect the community. In 2026, the total operating budget of the fire district will be just under $14 million. This year's commissioner election is contested with 1 open seat. Incumbent Commissioner David Stern is not seeking re-election. The candidates on the ballot are Dino Rentoulis and Lou Russo. The election will take place on Tuesday, December 9th from 4 o'clock to 9 p.m., which is extended hours for this year's election, at the Greenville Fire District headquarters, located at 711 Central Avenue, across from Frank and Joe's. All duly registered residents of the fire district, as of November 17th, are eligible to vote. Please note that absentee ballots are not available for this election. Tonight's forum is nonpartisan and designed to provide residents the opportunity to hear directly from both candidates. This is not a debate, it is a structured Q&A meant to inform the community. All questions being asked tonight were submitted by the public and reviewed by a committee of the ECC Board of Directors, which included Vice Presidents Sharon Lewis and Paul Wooten, as well as the Chair of our Governmental Affairs Committee, Matt Jaffe. The format of the forum, to keep the forum within 60 to 75 minutes, tonight's structure will be opening statements of 3 minutes each. We will ask 7 questions. Each candidate will have the opportunity for a 3-minute response, and then there'll be 3-minute closing statements. I'd like to thank John Lewis and Edgemont Hoops for being our timekeeper this evening. There was a very official rock, paper, scissors before the forum, and Dino Rentoulis won the Rochambeau, so he will begin with his opening statement. Dino, thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving with their friends and families. Thank you for all attending this open forum and to the ECC for making this event possible. I would also like to thank Mr. Russo for expressing his interest in dedicating his time and efforts to run for the open seat as fire commissioner. A little bit about myself. For those of you who did not read my brief bio circulated by the ECC, my name is Dino Rentoulis. I have lived in this community for over 40 years. I started kindergarten in Greenville Elementary, all the way through Edgemont Junior and Senior High School. My parents still reside in the house that I grew up in. I have 3 young children in Greenville now, and I cannot think of a better place to raise my family. I graduated Fairfield University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. I was hired by the same company that I interned for the summer before entering my senior year of college. I worked with a team of amazing and brilliant individuals designing, producing, and testing devices used in pharmaceutical applications. The company expanded, had to relocate to a larger facility, which resulted in a much longer commute. So I then decided to focus solely on expanding my family's real estate and food service businesses. If elected fire commissioner, I will use all my knowledge and experiences and team working skills to work closely with the 4 other commissioners and the fire chief to keep our community and our firefighters safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dino. Next, for his opening statement, Lou Russo.
Thank you, and I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you everyone for attending and about to watch this on video replay. Thank you to the ECC and Dylan for organizing this forum, and thank you for David Stern for all your years of service. Who am I? Who is Lou Russo? What do I bring to the table? I'll be ready on day one. I do not need years to get up to speed to make a meaningful contribution. I do not need to depend on other board members to know what's going on. I've been involved for years. Through my active attendance at the Board of Fire Commissioner meetings for years, I am well versed on the issues facing the fire district today. Why am I ready on day one? 40 years of firefighting experience. When I first joined in 1985 as a high school student here at Edgemont. 40 years of proving willingness to volunteer. Currently, I am a top responder and have been for years, demonstrating my commitment remains strong after all these years. Leadership ability. Currently, I serve as a lieutenant, and I've held other positions of trust. I've held deputy chief, captain, lieutenant, president, treasurer, all positions of trust, as I said, all positions I was elected to. As a manager for a major Wall Street firm, I supervise as many as 23 employees all over the world in risk assessment and auditing. I have a proven track record of being transparent to the public, and you can trust that I will continue to keep the public informed. No guesswork with me. I've done it, I will do it. With me, you're getting a CPA, an auditor, and the district will benefit from my experience. I ask questions. It's part of my DNA. I get to the root cause of things. I ask why at least 5 times. I make decisions that are based on facts, not emotion. I've experience with government accounting. I don't believe anyone else on the board does. As an auditor, worked for Ernst & Young, I've audited government entities, including Scarsdale School District, Dobbs Ferry Hospital, Scarsdale School District, Dobbs Ferry Hospital, and the town of Greenville. Deep ties to Edgemont, 4 generations, and I hope for the next 4 as well, putting some pressure on my kids. We have a clear choice today. Being fire commissioner is an important job, especially at this point in time. With our ever-growing budget, which has almost risen 50% since the year 2000, I will be able to apply my vast department and financial experience to be ready on day one. I have 40 years of firefighting experience. I know on day one how the fire department approaches fires and rescues, the equipment needed to fight fires, how many fire trucks Greenville has, approximately how much each fire truck costs, how mutual aid works, how it can work. I understand personnel costs and expenses. These are things I will not have to learn on the job. I already know them. I'm ready on day one, if given the opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we will move into questions from the community. We received many thoughtful submissions and appreciate everyone who took the time to submit their questions. While we won't be able to cover every question tonight, we've selected 7 questions that we feel best represent the full range of a fire commissioner's responsibilities. As previously mentioned, each candidate will have 3 minutes per answer, and we will alternate who begins. So we will begin with Lou, since Lou went second for his opening statement. First question, how would you approach working collaboratively with the existing members of the Board of Fire Commissioners to maintain an effective and productive governing body?
Great question. Thank you for the question. Actually, I forgot one part in my opening remarks. Just want to thank Dino for doing this. Democracy only works when people get involved, so I really appreciate you stepping up and taking this challenge. So great question. So how would I work with the board? So many of you may remember Paul Solomon. He used to head the Edgemont Rec. As an example, whenever they were short on coaches, he'd call me, right? I'd come up, I'd step up. I'm a team player. I will ask the tough questions. I said I was an auditor. Auditors always ask questions. We all kind of come together. We reach a decision. Sometimes the vote goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. It is what it is. But with me, I've always been a team player. That's what I'm known for at work, as being, Mr. Team. And that's what I'm known from the volunteers in the fire department. that's what you're getting. So the board is a team, but that doesn't mean because if you have a disagreement, you should just be quiet. If I think something is wrong, I will speak up, I will say my piece. And if the vote doesn't go my way, it is what it is.
All right, thank you. Dino, I'll repeat the question.
Yes.
How would you approach working collaboratively with the existing members of the Board of Fire Commissioners to maintain an effective and productive governing body?
Well, whereas Mr. Sullivan called Lou to help him with rec, he was actually my teacher in Greenville.
Likewise.
So, yeah, I agree. I think communication is key. In any board, in any business organization, communication is key. There are 5 members. You kind of attack any issue or problem head on. You lay out all your chips. You discuss different options, different solutions, and you just have to see which one makes sense for the community, for the fire department, and that's pretty much it. It's just communication and problem solving, which I am. You know, I know I'm younger, but I have opened up businesses of my own. I know what it takes to come up with solutions and to work through problems to have a successful organization.
All right, thank you both. Next question, and Dino, you'll go first. How would your professional background and experience inform your overall approach to serving as a fire commissioner, including areas such as budgeting, capital planning, governance, and oversight?
All right, thank you for the question. So I know I'm going to sound a bit redundant, but again, it's my personal experience running, operating, owning businesses, managing, operating, owning real estate, that allows me, that gives me the knowledge and the education to tackle these problems and any issues that may arise. So teamwork, budgeting, that's basically what I do. You know, I have 50 employees between all my different businesses that I run and operate. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but yes, this is a business. The fire department is a business, and that's the approach that I would take to offer my services and my expertise.
Thank you. Lou, same question. I will repeat it. How would your professional background and experience inform your overall approach to serving as a fire commissioner, including areas such as budgeting, capital planning, governance, and oversight?
So thank you for the question. There's a lot in there. So, and if I wanted to give a detailed answer, I probably couldn't get it in 3 minutes. But first thing, what I would say is my background is in finance. I'm a CPA. I'm an auditor, so I'll get to the bottom, the root cause. You get to the root cause of what you need when it comes to expenses, and so that's kind of how I would look at it. The fact that I already know the fire service, I'm not going to say I'm an expert in everything, but I'm already familiar with it, so I understand the cost of equipment. I understand planning. If you want to purchase a fire truck, you know, a few years ago they were a few $100,000, now they're well over $1 million. So what I would try to do, think ahead. You start putting money away over time. You start thinking, maybe call up the city of New York. One of the commissioners has ties to the city of New York. Group in purchases, maybe we can, you know, latch onto one of their orders so we can get a little cheaper. So there's lots of things that you could think of, and I could use my finance background to do that, plus my 40 years of firefighting experience. I understand what the equipment is. You don't have to explain it to me. And then again, like I said, I'm an auditor, so I ask those questions and I get down to the root cause. Is there a better way to do it? Can we link up with Scarsdale for a purchase? Those sort of things. So that's how I would approach it. Capital planning is not something you do year to year. It is something that you do and you think well ahead of when you need something. So you have to plan ahead. That's how I would approach it. Everything should be on with the fire department, I'd say 5 to 10 years. You should be thinking ahead.
All right, thank you. Lou, you'll respond to this question first. Third question, How would you improve communication and transparency between the fire district and the community?
Great question. So that's one of my main things that I stand for. So right now, I think there's a lot of opportunities for our department to be much more transparent with the community. First of all, you shouldn't have to FOIL to get the minutes. So for those of you who don't know, FOIL is you file a Freedom of Information request, and they have to request to get the minutes. I mean, right next door, Hartsdale, they publish their minutes on the website, detailed minutes. Because even when you FOIL and get more minutes, they don't tell you anything. And if you watch some of the recent commissioner meetings, they debate back and forth who said what. You can't figure it out from the minutes. So number one, first thing I would do is get the minutes, put them on the website, let the community see it. If they can't make the meeting, they can at least read and see what was discussed and who said what. The second thing I would do is I would have a video broadcast of it so that people could watch it on like YouTube. Other districts do it. Go look at Eastchester. It's out there. You can watch it at your convenience. You can see not only it's better than actually just reading the words. You can actually see how people present it, see the interaction. This is what you should do for a community if you want more community involvement, so that everyone's aware of what's going on. So that's what I would do. Those two things I think will go a long way.
All right, thank you, Lou. Dino, same question. How would you improve communication and transparency between the fire district and the community?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Lou there that the website definitely needs work. And all that data and information should be on, just to make it a lot easier for people to access and gain that information. Secondly, I would just encourage everybody to ask questions. We were taught there is no stupid question. There's emails on the website. You can call in, you can speak to the chief, you can speak to the fire commissioners, you can speak with the volunteers, ask questions. I think that's number one. And attending these boards, if residents have issues or they have any concerns, I strongly urge to attend the board meetings. And if they can't, like Lou said, the best way is through the website, through a video, to see what questions were asked and to get the better answers for the community.
All right, thank you, Dino. Fourth question, you'll answer first. What metrics or benchmarks do you believe the district should use to evaluate performance and guide decision-making?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. What metrics or benchmarks do you believe the district should use to evaluate performance and guide decision-making?
For the fire commissions, for the fire department?
For the district.
For the district. So everything is always changing. Safety standards are always changing. I know that the NFPA always puts out what they feel is what seems suitable for that year's qualifications and training. So I would suggest that you sit down with your board, the other 4 members, members that have had years and decades of experience, and just come up with different solutions and to try to find problems to make it a more efficient system.
Great, thank you. Lou, same question. What metrics or benchmarks do you believe the district should use to evaluate performance and guide decision-making?
So there's a lot of things that go into running the fire department, right? But in terms of specifically for metrics, well, the one thing you can't do is you can't only look at metrics internally, what we currently have in the district. We should be looking at what are they doing in neighboring districts as well, to compare and contrast. Are we doing it better? We should look at Scarsdale, we should look at Hartsdale, we should look at other departments as well. So compare what they're doing in terms of how many men do they have on a piece of apparatus. Now, Dino mentioned NFPA 1710, I guess is one that also has a metric, how many firefighters you should have as well. Just keep in mind, some of those metrics and some of those things that are put out there, those standards, they're voluntary standards, and it was made up by, as an example, for the one for 1710, it was made up by a group of, I guess, paid fire chiefs, and union officials. So reasonable people, there's kind of an incentive. We'd all like to have a firefighter, we could have a firefighter and a police officer in every corner in town. We'd all be safer with that. So we just have to take everything with a grain of salt. For the size of the district we are, it has to be right size, the number and staffing levels. So those are the things that I would kind of look at. Of course, other metrics, you look at attendance, you look at how many fires we have in district, how many medical calls, put everything on the table. Are we serving our community best by, responding to medical calls on a fire truck? You can't throw somebody on a hose bed. Maybe we should look into getting an ambulance, all those sort of things. You have to look at what we are, what are the needs are of our community. We also can partner with other districts, work out how we want to do that. So to answer the question in terms of metrics, I don't have a specific metric, but what I think we should do is look at our neighboring departments and let's compare and contrast and see where we can do better and how we measure.
All right, thank you. Fifth question, Lou, you will go first. What is your understanding of the respective roles of the fire chief and the fire commissioners, and how would you navigate those roles to support effective leadership of the district?
So it's very clear. So oversight is the responsibility of the Board of Fire Commissioners. Setting policy is the responsibility of the fire commissioners. Operational command is the responsibility of the chief. It's that simple. Operational policy, operational policy, strategic policies, all that is in the board. The direction, whether this district uses volunteers or not, is the discretion of the board. How they're using, the command of them, is the discretion of the chief. It's not more complicated than that.
All right, thank you. Dino, same question. What is your understanding of the respective roles of the fire chief and the fire commissioners, and how would you navigate those roles to support effective leadership of the district?
So the great part about joining the Board of Fire Commissioners is that there are 5 individuals. And again, going back to what I said previously, open lines of communication. And it's important to work in conjunction with the chief, and this is how we are able to have discussions of what's important, and how we can approach and try to tackle any situation that comes our way.
All right, thank you. Sixth question, Dino, you'll go first. The fire district's budget has grown in recent years. How would you approach managing costs and assuring the district's long-term financial sustainability while meeting operational needs?
Right, again, so unfortunately we live in a world today where everything goes up, all the costs go up, and it's important to sit down and discuss, because I know that everyone's a taxpayer and nobody wants their taxes to go up, but we also have to be responsible and we have to keep our community safe. So again, it's depending on your colleagues, the fire commissioners, to ask those tough questions and to come up with solutions. Again, that's beneficial for everyone, including taxpayers and the fire department itself.
All right, thank you. Lou, same question. The fire district's budget has grown in recent years. How would you approach managing costs and assuring the district's long-term financial sustainability while meeting operational needs?
So Dino and I agree. We agree that costs go up, right? So costs are always going up. There's definitely ways that you can approach that and limit that. So as an example, you could optimize the use of your firefighters. You can put a rather senior firefighter, captain rank, and put him on an administrative role on during the day, not actually serving the community as a firefighter. Or you could limit those firefighter roles to actually firefighting roles as opposed to administrative roles. That's one way, so you could redistribute. Costs do go up, but as an example, we just hired, or we increased the staffing by 4 more firefighters. I'm not convinced that that was absolutely necessary, but assuming it is for a second, that you needed that extra staff, an extra person on each shift. One of the biggest costs that we have in the district is not necessarily the salary. It's actually the benefits, and then when somebody retires, then you got to go hire another one when they retire, and you're paying the benefits when they're of the person that is retired. So it just snowballs and it goes up exponentially. So if we actually did need that extra firefighter, which again I'm not exactly convinced we do, the district over the long haul would be better served by paying overtime to the existing staff, right? So they make a little bit more, and we benefit from not paying those extra benefits and then retirement benefits, because they're really condemning the next generation for an exponential increase. The other thing that we could do, which I'm going to be honest and just with the public, I think the district has done a very poor job, is optimizing the use of volunteers. We can do better. We can make better use out of our volunteers. We are putting roadblocks to getting our volunteers joining, getting them active, and getting them recertified to be an active contributor. This is unacceptable in my mind. As a commissioner, I will not be quiet on this point. As an example, we've had a former assistant chief who was inactive for a bit, wanted to come back. It's taking almost a year to let him to come back. He's coming to all the drills, everything that comes his way. It shouldn't take that long. When a career firefighter has been out for a long period of time, they've got a checklist, they go through it. Most of the things on that checklist, just review. They can get them back on. There's only 2 or 3 things that are actually skill tests. They can do that. They're back in service right away. You don't do that for volunteers. Why? It's because my belief is there's an undertone to get rid of the volunteers. And I'm just calling it like I see it. I believe we're not doing enough to encourage volunteerism and to make better use of the volunteers that we currently have. The last thing I'd say, perfect example, there were pictures shown of the Eva Lane fire. There were 6 volunteers there, right?
All right.
Not used in the whole fire until they're rolling up the hose.
We're at time. Thank you. All right, seventh and final question. Lou, you will go first. What do you believe is the single most important challenge or opportunity facing the Greenville Fire District in the next 5 years?
There's a lot of opportunities. I think there's a lot of opportunities to take a look at the way and reimagine the way that we're spending our hard-earned tax dollars. So I would focus on that. I would focus on using the volunteer force to make up for that one person at a fire. I'm going to quote the chairman of the board, what he had said to the volunteers at a volunteer meeting. He goes, I don't care if you show up at an automatic alarm. For those of you who don't know, automatic alarm are mostly false alarms, as long as you were there when we have a working fire, 1075. And then at the Eva Lane fire, we had 6 volunteers. I think that's a success. I think we need to capitalize that, encourage more volunteerism in the community, and make better use of our volunteer firefighters. That's a big way that we would save on the cost. The other way is, I think, again, as I said earlier, I don't believe that we should put career firefighters in administrative roles. We need to have them focused on firefighting roles. That would be, and transparency, obviously, would be another thing. I think transparency, if the public gets to see what's actually happening at the Board of Fire Commissioners meeting, everybody will step up their game. And when I say more transparency, let's be like Hartsdale, let's be Scarsdale, let's be like Eastchester. Let's show what the expenses are month to month. Not just say, you've all got the expenses and it's approved. No, show what we're spending on overtime. Show what the sick time is costing us. Let the community know. We're paying, we're footing the bill. Why is it being kept from us? That's what I would do. I think if you do those little things, there'll be more attention to it.
All right, thank you. Dino, same question. What do you believe is the single most important challenge or opportunity facing the Greenville Fire District in the next 5 years?
So I would like to agree with Lou. I mean, volunteering for your community is probably the most patriotic thing you can do, an individual can do. And yes, it is important, and if we were to focus on our volunteers, we would just have to get them the proper training. financially provide them with the tools, the necessary tools, to better assist our firefighters as well. And again, it's just communication. I mentioned transparency several times. Go out, ask the questions, and the 5 members of the board just work, again, in conjunction with the chief to resolve the issues on hand.
Since Dino went first for his opening remark, Lou will give you closing remarks.
Thank you. In closing, if I have the honor of being elected, I will not have to rely on the expertise from current board members, so you will not get more of the same. High taxes, roadblocks to volunteers, and lack of transparency. All issues we've been discussing tonight. If you're not happy with the status quo, then vote Russo on December 9th, and you'll be happy you did. I'll be ready on day one. 40 years of firefighting experience, 35 years of financial experience, a built-in risk assessor and financial auditor on staff. I have proven leadership to lead the department to the future, deep ties to the Edgemont community going back 4 generations, and as I said, I want my kids to be here for the next 4 generations and their kids. And by the way, my 4 generations going back is also 4 generations, not just in Edgemont, but also in the fire district. Proven track record spanning 4 decades of being involved, myself, 4 decades. I'll bring greater transparency, as said during some of the questioning, detailed minutes, video replay, such as they have in Hartsdale, and also the ECC, not even supported by taxpayer dollars. They publish their minutes, very detailed, you can tell what's going on. That's what I want for, so you know where your tax dollars are being spent. What else would you get from me on day one? You'd get career and volunteer staff. I would ensure that career and volunteer staff have the training and tools needed to best serve our community. I'd optimize the use of our volunteer staff to support our great career staff and make sure those in leadership positions are willing to optimize the strengths of a combination department. I'd weed out those who refuse to change, instead are actively seeking to undermine a combination department, instead of making Greenville the best it can be. On this point, I just want to add, I do believe in giving second chances, because as people do make mistakes. I would rotate the chairman of the board. No kingship in Edgemont. Prioritize paid firefighter positions for firefighter roles and not hire paid officers for administrative roles. I would make sure overtime is fair. I would make sure sick time is used appropriately. And I would make sure the district is more integrated with the community. There's a lot more, if you look on the websites, Fairview, Hartsdale, they're way more involved in the community, and I'd like to see Greenville kind of follow their lead. A vote for Lou Russo is a vote for experience, accountability, fiscal responsibility, efficiency, and transparency. Thank you. Hope to see you on December 9th. And I think, Dino, I think you're in good hands.
All right, thank you. Dino, 3 minutes for your closing remarks.
3 minutes. It's too long for a closing. Again, thank you for hosting this wonderful event. I may not personally have all the right answers or solutions to every problem concerning our fire department, but what I can guarantee you is that I will work diligently with my colleagues to ask the right questions, to communicate and discuss as a board how we can solve any issues that may arise. Our number 1 priority should be safety. Safety for our neighbors, our community, our volunteers, and our firefighters. And I will make sure that our brave men and women are provided the proper tools and training to ensure the safety of everyone. That should be the primary focus of any fire commissioner. Thank you and good night.
All right, thank you. I'd like to thank both candidates and everyone who submitted questions this evening. As a reminder, the election, the Greenville Fire District election is Tuesday, December 9th from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the firehouse. Thank you for being a part of this important civic process. It's really encouraging to see so many Edgemont residents out here this evening, and I hope this is a sign of what's to come. Ultimately, regardless of which candidate you support, I think democracy won this evening, and that's a really good thing for everyone. So thank you. And with that said, this forum is adjourned.